Hi, I'm Jerry Burke, and today's question comes from a woman that I will call Pam. She says, "Dear Jerry, I have been experiencing a dark night of the soul since my son committed suicide. My spirit has been so unsettled. For many, many years, I put my faith in God and was a student of the Bible. I have been seeking direct insight from God to help me understand, and I am reaching out to you even though the teachings of Christ conflict with many New Age philosophies. Christ's teachings say there is only one mediator between God, and that is Christ, so I do not have faith in mediums or tarot cards. Many of the NDE experiencers completely leave out Christ and his teachings, yet he historically was here and claimed to be God incarnate. Other NDE accounts have encountered Christ, so that is where I seem to land. These are some thoughts I wrestle with and mostly try to stay on the side of Christ's teachings. But I understand the spirit world can and does come through, and that we may be getting insight and knowledge outside of Christ and his teachings. I still try to pray and make contact with God, angels, and my son. I still believe he may be able to send signs. I look forward to hearing your thoughts." So there's no pain that compares to the loss of a child. The loss of a child due to suicide, I can't even fathom that. So my heart goes out to you. I wanted to first address what you said about even though the teachings of Christ conflict with many New Age philosophies, Christ's teachings say there is only one mediator between God, and that is Christ. So I want you to know that I completely agree. There is only one. There's only one way to God, and that is through Christ consciousness. However, that's Christ consciousness, not Christ incarnate. And so when we are reaching out to God for God's guidance, we must go through Christ consciousness. We must go through Christ. Are there other entities? Yes, there are. So we must be very careful to have within us and around us all the thoughts of Christ and his teachings that we can to protect us and to receive guidance from God and not some other perhaps twisted interpretations. Now, I don't normally connect with spirit. That's not right. I don't normally connect with departed spirits unless they are people that I knew intimately here on earth, like my father, like my sister. I personally need to know, I will feel that it's truly them, and then I feel comfortable enough to reach out and let them connect with me. From speaking with you, Pam, I did feel comfortable enough, and the photographs that you sent me of your son. What I did was I looked into his eyes and I focused hard on trying to connect to him at a deeper level, trying to get deeply to know him. I couldn't know him on this earth, but I wanted to have a deep connection with him at some level. I really wasn't able to. The only time that I was able to receive anything was the feeling of remorse. And it was a feeling of remorse that I felt around me. And I felt that must have been the feeling that he had, at the moment that he took his life. We have to remember, though, that Christ consciousness is not incarnate. It was when he was historically here on earth, and he was. That at that moment, his consciousness was incarnate, was of the flesh, but it's not of the flesh now. So what we need to remember is that signs that we receive from Christ's consciousness are not things that we can hear. They are not things that we can see. They are really inspirations that we receive. Inspire means of the Spirit. So when I meditate, what I do is I try to block everything else out except for, and leave a wide gap, just open blank gap for inspiration to be downloaded. And inspiration is in a flash. A thought or a sense will come to you without having had any thoughts prior to that. It's a flash of insight from nowhere. That is Spirit speaking to you. And I think that, Pam, I think you are the one that he will speak to if he is at the place to speak to you. Now, I said a moment ago that I don't normally use tarot cards, but I do have them. And they were given to me as a gift. I think they're gorgeous. Mine are from Doreen Virtue. They're just really pretty. And the way I use them is that's the back of them. They're very pretty. And it's like artwork, it's very beautiful, beautiful cards. But the way I use them is I'll pick a card every morning and say, oh, what's my card of the day kind of thing. But for this particular request, Pam, I did use them, and I laid them out and then followed the book on how to do it. But you'll see, this is the layout. I cleared the table of all negative or dark spirit. I wanted only Christ consciousness to be surrounding me, surrounding my table, surrounding my cards. I prayed over all the cards individually. I had holy water around the table, sprinkled, and Lord's Prayer, my rosary was there. And I laid out the cards according to the book. And the one that says, so the intention that I had was, is he okay? Which I think was what you wanted to know. Is he all right? And the one card that came up that meant the present situation, the card that came up was the Chariot, and that's at the top left. Then the Chariot is Archangel Metatron. Okay? And you can see the Metatron, it looks like it's a chariot with an angel. And I think that was, what this card says to me is that he was whisked away to heaven immediately. I got a very warm, really beautiful feeling when I read this card. And then I opened the book to read more about Archangel Metatron, which this is something I didn't know, is that Metatron uses a sacred geometric shape called a Merkaba, or Metatron's cube, which instantly manifests dreams to reality. So I got the feeling very strongly that at the instant that your son passed, he was immediately whisked to the highest level of Christ consciousness, and is not only good, he's extremely good. So he's at peace. So I hope this answers your question. So I hope that answers your question. I also wanted to share with you about Mike Tyson in an interview that I saw recently, and I thought of you. He was asked by the interviewer if he had ever experienced something that was very difficult to deal with. And he said, yes, the death of my 4-year-old daughter. She had been playing on the treadmill and was injured and didn't survive. And the interviewer asked, oh, wow, how did you ever get past that? And he said, I didn't get past that. It's not something that you get past. It's not something that you heal from. It's something that well, now these are my words, but his words were, no, I didn't get past that, and I won't get past that. And all I can do is live my life, the best life I can for my daughter, because she would want me to be happy. Yeah. Life is hard. You know, people go through a lot, and getting up every day when you're dealing with something as hard as this, Pam, is I'm sending you prayers and my love, and asking God to please bless you every day, give you strength. Okay?